I'm Violet Ray.
I'm Anais.
And I am Odessa.
We're going to be doing the Pagan Challenge today. And this is going to be cool because we haven't told each other our answers at all. So we might all be different. We might all be very different.
I don't know. I think we're going to be pretty much similar. I think
We'll
we
see.
all, for the most part.
Yeah.
I think you might be the one that's a little bit different.
I think maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
So the first question is, how did you find your path? You start with that one.
Okay, so I started getting into crystals and just working with their energy and then meditation. I went under the label of being a spiritual person for a while. I went through looking into Hinduism and Buddhism, and then I just kind of stumbled upon it. I started doing new moon and full moon rituals, not really like into witchcraft or paganism at all yet. Just doing like simple rituals, and then I pretty much met you, and then you helped me get a little bit more organized with it and really get into it more.
Yeah.
So.
I think we all met like at the perfect timing.
Yeah. Jenna?
So I would have to credit Odessa for leading me down the spiritual path that I'm on. It all started and she gave me a little piece of pre-night and it just set off an explosion of crystal love and wanting to know all about crystals and using crystals. Then later I met Laura.
It's okay. We could say my real name's Laura Lee. I don't mind if people know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So then I met Violet Ray through her, and that's when I really got into it. You know, it was definitely set off by them.
Violet Ray was the spark to really getting into a real practice for both of us.
Even with me meeting you guys, it was like I was doing so much alone, and it wasn't really. I was pushing myself, but at times I would find myself in like a plateau. Yeah, like just kind of feeling stuck. And now since we've all been working together, it's like there's always something to learn.
We all push each other to learn.
Yeah.
And do new things. So
it's been like constantly exciting, and even when one of us is low, we all like help each other out.
Yeah.
Which has been really healing. It's been like a big healing process.
I think it's definitely been just a group thing for all of us. Obviously, Violet Ray was already on the spiritual path and learning about it and stuff, but then once we got all together, it was really just like ignited.
Yeah.
It was kind of like harmony. Like it was just meant to
Well, see, I was
flow.
just talking to Anais about I had a tarot reading a while ago, like maybe a year ago in the winter.
It was like over a year ago.
Yeah, it was in the winter, right before the winter time, so maybe like in September of 2016. I had a reading, and she told me she sees me with two other girls forming a coven, and together we are extremely powerful, and she said that she saw us in a circle, like nodding, like making knots together. And I originally thought it would be me and Anais and our mutual friend Mariah, but it never ever happened. And it was nowhere near happening, so that's when I started just doing new moon rituals and whatever by myself. But it turns out that it was probably you that she saw, because then we all did get together and it was...
Because even when we met, like, it took a while before we started realizing, oh my god, we're both into this, like, like, seriously. Because you talk to people and they're, oh, that's so cool, I'm interested in learning tarot, I want to do tarot, like, you know, and then you're like, well, if you were, you do it.
Yeah.
But then you meet people who actually involve it in their lives every day, and that makes a big difference.
I think that's how it was with me. Me and Violet Ray worked together, that's how we met, and I had a lot of crystals, so I'd always talk to people there, like, oh, these are my crystals, and they'd be like, you know, I'd give them a crystal, and they'd be like, yeah, I'll use it, you know. But then when we started talking, it was like, no, I'll actually use this.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm actually going to do what you're telling me and learn what you want me to learn.
Yeah,
so.
we exchanged, like, books and, like, meditation sprays, crystals, everything, and then after she left that job, I left too, but after...
A while after.
Yeah, that's when we really started getting together, and you came over, and that's where it began.
I think the first time was we did a new moon.
It was
on the eclipse.
It was,
on the super moon.
We were outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We started
time.
like 6 or 7 months ago, right? Because
it
was already.
It was about the end of summer.
Yeah, it was September, October.
It was before that.
And it was, because it was before the 3 super moons happened right after another. So it was September, October, November, I think.
That we all got together?
Yeah.
It was
because we did one for each of those.
It was at the end of summer because I know I wasn't talking to Anthony when.
So maybe 7 or 8 months.
No, you were talking to Anthony because we met at the coffee house. We talked about doing it, and then we went and did it.
So it was probably September, October time.
So about 7 months, we'll say, to be safe, we started. And then since then, it's only grown after. Like, now I feel like we have a flow. We're a bit more organized.
Oh, yeah.
And we're trying to do new things and incorporate new things. Because you can only do the same thing
so many times.
Yeah, you can only get rid of shit and bring in shit, like, in so many ways that you have to make, like, new things to do. Yeah. So, it's been really fun. Yeah. Like, I don't know what I would do without you guys.
I don't know.
For the next new moon and full moon, I'd be like, I don't want to be just solitary now.
I remember we had one time where none of us could get together. It was a new moon, and it just didn't work out, and we were like, okay, you know what, let's just not do it this month. And I did a ritual by myself, and it was okay, and I felt, I did a meditation, and I remember, like, I had a cool experience, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
The energy was not as powerful. It wasn't as fun. So.
You definitely, like, feel the vibrations before and after a lot more when we're together. Yeah. And things happen quicker. Yeah. Like, the things we're working for, like, your job.
Now they're, like,
my mom.
I remember the first time we did it, we were all like, wow, this is working really fast. But no, the last one we did was, like, instant.
Yeah. It was really, really strong. And that's when I did the tarot for the last one. I think the light goes out every once in a while, so we may have to, like, touch it. Yeah. Cool. I did the tarot reading. I wrote it down, too, and it was basically saying, like, very, very successful meeting of all of us.
Working with soil.
Working with soil. Oh, yeah, that came up, because I used the Witch's Tarot, that what we want, we're going to be working with the soil, and it's going to amplify everything really strongly, and that we're going to be more united and more, what was it? The relationships were going to grow even more.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I think it did happen.
What's the next question?
Next question is, are you out of the closet?
You want to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
fully.
I'm fully out. My family is totally on board, which is really, really cool. I get, like, my brother will say shit sometimes, but then when something's going on, he'll ask for a reading, and he'll listen, and he'll do it, so I don't take it personally when he's being a dick.
Yeah.
But everyone else, like, my grandma's really into it. I've been doing a lot of candle workings and mojo bags for my family, like, for protection and stuff, and they've all been very supportive, and it's been a blessing, because when I was a teenager, they weren't. Like, I bought my first Ouija board at 11, and my grandma, like, had to flip shit and threw it out, and I thought they were closed off, but it was confusing, because she's what got me, like, into things. So it was more she wasn't sure and wasn't ready for me to dive into things and me not knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say I'm out because my family knows. It's not something that I talk about. I've never been someone to talk about religion and spirituality, and for a long time I was very against religion, and I was very bitter about it. But now I found spirituality. I wouldn't consider myself a pagan per se, although I'm really into the Sabbats and just embracing those and doing little things for the Sabbats and stuff. So yeah, I'm out. I don't outwardly talk about it, but if someone were to ask, I would tell the truth and I wouldn't be ashamed.
I would say I am. As far as my family, you know, my mom and I have 3 sisters. They all know, and we kind of don't really talk about it. My dad and my stepmom, totally not open to it, and I live with them, so it's kind of hard sometimes. Like, we did a new moon ceremony, or was it full moon? No, I keep forgetting.
Last time was new.
Okay, we did a new moon ceremony, and I needed some cinnamon, I needed honey, and I needed basil, and I wasn't able to go into my pantry and get it because if my dad was like, hey, why are you taking those things? I don't really have an excuse as to why I need honey and cinnamon. So Jenna had to get it for me because, you know, it's not comfortable at home. So that's another thing why it's so great being with them, because I get to be open here and not have judgment from my family. With my peers, like, I have a pentagram tattoo on my knee, so that kind of forces me to be open with it because I get a lot of questions about it. If I'm a Satanist and if I worship Satan, if just weird questions like that.
There's a big difference between pentagram and pentacle, and I think there's still a lot of ignorance about it.
Well, technically on me it's a pentagram because it's, to everyone else it's upside down, but to me it's facing. It's a pentacle to me. But either way, even if it was facing everyone as a pentacle,
they would think the same.
They wouldn't understand it anyway. Yeah. So I have to explain myself a lot to people who see it, and they're like, what is that? And they really have no idea about what I'm about. So it's a lot of explaining, and I'm thinking about getting it covered up now because it's just too much judgment right now.
Too much negativity.
With a lot of people that I shouldn't have to explain myself to.
Yeah.
So.
And that's kind of always going to be there.
Yeah.
I think. And now it being so open and people accepting so much more, it's still funny to find that, you know, people accept so many religions, but being a witch is still like, what? Mm-hmm. You know, we're like the only group that really like, hasn't hurt anybody.
Like,
is about healing. Is about helping people.
I actually got asked the other day if I'm a heathen.
Yeah.
So it was a long conversation I had to have with someone because he was asking me if I was a heathen, and he didn't even know the definition of heathen. He had to look it up, and it was just funny. A funny conversation to have.
Well, that one time I did tarot at work. Remember, I was called
what were you called?
Demonic.
Oh, yeah.
Because tarot is demonic.
I've gotten that by my boyfriend's stepfather. I've gotten a lot of... Oh, he told me, if you work with crystals, demons will hide in them. Like, everything you do, there's demons everywhere. You can't be open to energy. Well, there's energy literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So, it's like, what... You know?
It makes me have, like, bad blood with Christianity because we all know how it started, and it started, you know, basically they took so much and still use so much from paganism.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did was, that part we don't like, so we're going to make you scared of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that just still carries over now, even with the history being so open and obvious.
People don't
They don't know. They don't really...
Even I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic schools my whole life. I went to Catholic high school. They don't really teach you the real history of Christianity.
They don't.
And I didn't actually learn it until I started looking into paganism. And I was like, wow, Christmas actually, you know, is not...
We just had Ostara.
Yeah, Christmas is actually Yule. Like, they just did this.
They don't teach you. And
to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually, when I got to high school, I completely turned away from the Catholic Church, and I was an atheist for a long time. I didn't believe in anything because this is what I grew up on my whole life, and I was like, I don't understand why this path is so judgmental and hurtful and not accepting, and you're so focused on your sins and being remorseful and begging for forgiveness, and
And that's what they throw at what they don't understand, too.
Yeah.
You know, they throw judgment, and they don't... If they were to understand that we're all about, like, healing
Mhm.
and helping, and no witch has ever harmed a mass group of people more than Christianity,
Yeah.
nor have they done it in general. So it's just, ignorance is so strong, and negativity is so strong that will always overshadow
Yeah.
anything good coming
Yeah.
our way.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from us.
Yeah.
And it sucks.